Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. V back with another special casted game of Age of Empires 3, because today we are spotlighting a mod which I think you should all go out and take a look at. This is the fully playable Revolutions mod by Evolution. Here it is on the mod page. And it does exactly what it says it does. It makes every single revolt in this game its own standalone civilization. We got Egyptians, South Africans, Central Americans, Canadians. If you have ever revolted to it in the vanilla game, it is here in the mod as its own civ, which I think is just an amazing idea. It's taking a lot of already built assets and it is making the game a lot more diverse in terms of civ choice. Now, there are, cons to it. I'm going to give my full mod breakdown at the end of the match, but Evolution sent me a couple of games and I just had to cast one of them. So here we are on Saxony, and in the west of the map, playing in the color blue as the Hungarians, we have Killer Cat 666. Now, Hungarian, an interesting revolt civ. If I remember right, their bonus is that every shipment they send, they actually get an outpost wagon. So they can very quickly just start dotting the map with military defensive buildings. And I believe, though I could be wrong, I believe they can actually train units out of those outposts as well. Otherwise, if you look at their deck, it's pretty standard European stuff. We have a lot of resource crates, we got upgrades, we got some standard military shipments that most European civs have, but there are some interesting ones in here, like the Hungarian Grenadiers and the Magyar Hussars, and of course, the grenade launchers, which would make those Hungarian Grenadiers absolutely insane. But sending 3 Vils as his first card, and meanwhile, let's take a look at his opponent in the east of the map in the color red as the Finns. We have Kerry, who's getting down his 2 torps. Now, Finns, of course, are a revolt civ that come from either Sweden or Russia, which I kind of like because historically that's really accurate, because Finland for the longest time was either Swedish or Russian. So if we take a look at their deck, you see a lot of Swede, but also some of that Russo influence. So like you have Strelet Horde right beside March of the Hackpellets, which I think is just, it's kind of insane. Otherwise, they play very similar to Sweden, and their bonus is they can make the Karelian Jaegers, which are expensive, but they also can gather at the same time. So they're like pseudo military villager units, pretty standard skirmisher, but can also gather when they are not being used to fight, which kind of takes care of that problem of your military units being idle, because in this case, if Kerry's units are idle, he can just be gathering resources. But sending 3 Vils as his first card as well, he's going to be going up with the Governor, and Killer Cats is also going to be going up with the Governor. So he's going to get another outpost wagon along with the 200 coins. So there's probably just going to be outpost wagons all over the place. And of course, we're on Saxony, so we have some interesting natives that we could go for. We do have the House of Vetten, and we also have the, is it just the House of Vetten? Hold on. No, we've also got the House of Wittelsbach, which I'm going to be honest, I really don't see people using it very often. And we also have 3 trading posts and 3 wide river crossings. So Saxony, a really fun map. I like it. It's got nice treasures as well. It's just a kind of all-around general purpose map. So nothing too crazy there. There's already enough craziness in this game with 2 civs that I know almost nothing about. And I wonder what the strategy is going to be, right? So is Kerry going to play this like standard Sweden? Is he going to try to put on some pressure with those Karelian Jaegers? Is he going to go into Age 3? And then meanwhile, Killer Cats, he seems to me to have a very Age 3 at least based deck, which I think works for Hungary, right? Because if they have the bonus of the outposts with every shipment, it's going to make them hard to push. And, getting into Age 3, getting out these powerful units like Veteran Halbs, Veteran Skirms, Veteran Dragoons, and maybe even mixing in some of those Grenadiers that could be really, really powerful. And he's even got one, look at this, all outposts and blockhouses spawn a Hungarian Grenadier. So if he gets like 5 or 6 outposts out by the mid game and then gets that could actually be a really, really decent card. And ooh, a blockhouse coming down for Carry. Yeah, that's right. So Finns can also make blockhouses. They don't make the standard Swedish barracks, so more of that Russian influence. I don't know if I love the placement. I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to defend the crossing as well as these back resources. I think you got to pick one or the other because, I mean, the enemy can still skirt around this crossing fairly well. And just the way it's laid out, it's going to be hard for other units, especially melee units, to try to defend this crossing if it's being besieged by like artillery, for example. But Dominion's coming out of that blockhouse, nice bit of micro there, and I think he's just going for a pretty standard Torp boom, making some of those Carillion Jaegers and sending 700 wood along with getting some of those early market upgrades. So far, this looks like standard Sweden to me. Obviously, he's lacking some of the standard things that you would see in Sweden's deck. He doesn't have like leather cannons, for example, but he can make Carillions, which he is doing now. And meanwhile, Killer Cats has another outpost wagon. I don't know where he's going to be sending that bad boy, but sending 700 wood as his second card, and pretty defensive outpost for his first placement. And I wonder, oh, okay, so this is smart, right? He's going to be putting an outpost because they're free, right? So they're a bit more expendable than a normal outpost would be. And so he's going to put it on these river crossings just to give him a lot of line of sight. And it's going to make it very hard for Carry to sneak up either with his main force or with any raiding hussars or hackapellets or whatever he tries to make. Of course, Carry does have access to the very powerful Russian dragoons if he sends the Grand Duchy of Finland card. I don't know if that's what he'll send. Also gives him access to counter Jaegers. So if he wants a very powerful, very expensive composition, he could go for that. Or he could just stick with the standard stuff. And going with hack pellets now. And we're going to see a composition of hack pellets and Carillions along with a pretty dedicated boom here. And what is this? Oh my god, it's a Hungarian Grenadier. These guys are so sick looking. And they have 31 hand attack? 31 hand attack for a Grenadier unit. Oh my god. 53 siege attack as well. But it looks like these Carillions are going to be able to take care of him. And these guys are expensive. They're 180 resources, but if Killer Cats is able to get the grenade launchers on these guys, it could be absolutely devastating. And he is now in age 3, so he went for an FF. His economy is very weak, it must be said. 19 villagers, and now just getting his market at 8 minutes. Lionheart would be proud, but not bad. He has not faced significant pressure. Carry has just kind of been booming on his side of the map, and it looks like Killer Cats also went for the House of Vetten, which is going to give him that Golden Ear Reiter, which could boost his cavalry, but currently no cavalry on the field for Killer Cats. But you always have to remember, playing against Hungary, that they could get those Magyar Hussars if they get enough outposts down, which could be a huge power shift in the game. And now he's even got some Pandors out as well, along with the Hungarian Grenadiers. So it's not going to be a large Hungarian army, but it is certainly going to be a powerful one. And meanwhile, glitched out there. Meanwhile, Carry going for just kind of some standard Sweden play. He's getting out hack pellets. He's being annoying. He's raiding around the map, doing what he needs to do. But now there's even some Grenzers on the map. And now I know these guys look like standard revolutionaries, and you might think, oh, what a lazy skin. But look at their hats. Look at these guys. These guys look better than normal revolutionaries. They ditched the corny-looking tricorns. They got some real manly hats, though they still can't stand up to those grenadiers. And oh my god, this army from Hungary, I know it looks very, very minuscule, but this is not something you want to mess around with. These are very powerful grenadiers, 3 anti-skirms, and some pretty beefy age 3 musketeers, and they're all veterancy teched, which is going to make them even more powerful. But the Caroline charge is coming in from Carry. Nice job by Killer Cats using his Explorer to tank, and even using one of his Pandors. Oh my god, the Grenadiers are using their hand mortars, and they are about to light up these Finnish troops. And do the Finns have different... Okay, for a second I thought they had different hats than the Carolingians, but they don't. And now 5 veteran dragoons on the table as well. So, I don't know. Carry's going to have to do something different here. I don't think staying in age 2 is going to be the play. And he's even got a Pandor just going off and raiding, which I just think is hilarious. 21 vills for Killer Cats and 26 for Carry, but that's along with 185 Torp population. So a very, very strong economy for Finland right now. And meanwhile, Hungary kind of solely relying on the fact that they are in Age 3, but they don't have access to the 2 Falconet shipment, which would be the big power spike that you would normally expect from an FF. Though he still has some powerful cards here. He has, I guess he could send, yeah, he's sending 8 Veteran Halb, and he could send 8 Veteran Skirm on top of that. He's still saving that Magyar Hussar card. He's now got 2 outposts here. He's got 1 over here, 1 over here, and he did have 1 over here that he lost. So he'd currently be getting 4 Magyar Hussars with that card, which is still pretty insane. Dragoon's still on the field, and let's see what Carry is doing. Carry not doing much, just continuing to bolster his economy, get market upgrades, and it looks like he is now going to transition with the Exiled Prince, which I think is a smart move. I think if he had tried to play this out in H2, the Grenadiers just would have minced his infantry, and he's got some nice cards here in Age 3. He's got 9 Caroleans, he's got 5 Hackapellets, he's got 2 Falconets, but the big thing is he's going to be able to get those veterancy upgrades for his units. He's even got a couple of Carolean Jaegers mixed in, and look at, when these guys are not fighting, they are working. They are industrious, those Finns. But speaking of not having 2 Falcons, who needs them? Because the Halberdier and Grenadier combination is just going to rip apart these buildings. Oh my god. Those might be the coolest looking attack animations in the game. I mean, those Grenadiers are just so awesome. I love them. I love them. I mean, play this mod just to mass these guys. Like, just doing this, I think, is worth getting the entire mod. And yeah, look at that. The Torps just being ripped apart. Finnish army is going to try to come in here and maybe harass, but again, he does not have those veterancy techs yet, which is weird because, I mean, he's got the resource potential. He just needs a little more coin, could even do a little bit of trading at his market. He definitely wants veteran Caroleans, and he definitely could use veteran Hussars as well. But even veteran Hussars going into this mix of Grenzers and Goons and Halberdiers, it's not a fight that Finns would relish. And meanwhile, the Hungarians pulling back. I like that move from Killer Cats. He's not getting too engaged. He doesn't want to waste these expensive units. And, you know, he is kind of using up a lot of his steam. He has sent his most powerful cards. He's got 8 Skirm left. And he's now sending the Magyar Hussars are out. And, oh my god. Are these guys just normal Hussars? What? These guys aren't Magyar Hussars. They're just regular old Hussars? Oh, man. Okay, that's a little bit lame, but we have a fight here. And the Hussars are going to get engaged, and the Grenadiers are going to be laying down the hurt. These guys have insane range with their mortar attack. 20 range, that's the same as a Carolean Jaeger. And the Falconet's not going to be able to get off effective shots. They are going to kill some of the Grenadiers, but now both Falconets going down. The Halberdiers getting right on the Hussars, and this micro by Carry, I don't think there is any micro. He's just thrown everybody to the wolves, and the Halberdiers are devouring the Hussar. They are all gone, and the only units to escape are the Hackapellets, and the Grenadier mass is still strong. The 5 Dragoons are still alive. There's still some Grenzers and Pandors mixed in, and that was a clean fight for Killer Cats, and now he can send 8 Skirm to bolster his units even more. And even though that Magyar Hussar card was kind of a dud, I was building that up all game. I really thought they were going to be Magyar Hussars, not just normal plain old Hussars. But 8 Skirm now coming out, continuing to make Grenadiers, which honestly, at this point, he could probably be okay just spamming Grenadiers. I mean, there's siege damage. Look at that. Markets are supposed to be tanky buildings. And that took, what, 3 shots? More Hussars coming out. Still no veterancy tech here from Carry. Has a card he could send. But, I mean, honestly, what do you send? I guess the best thing you send at this point is Finn Horses or Snaplock. Because you have pretty much just pure Hackapellets. Hackapellets getting a nice catch on the 8 Skirms, but now they are engaged with the Grenadiers. And look at these Hussars. This is why you need veteran Hussars. Look at just how quickly they melt to Age 3 units. And these Grenadiers, even against Hackapellets, that area damage is just ludicrous. and the Haka pellets are going to go down under the Hungarian outpost. And I think that might be game from Killer Cats. Minutemen coming out, Hussars coming out. But look at this. I mean, Killer has done such a good job keeping these 5 Dragoons alive, and that is going to be game. And the point goes to Hungary. What a fun matchup that was. I gotta be honest, guys. I was getting kind of tired of seeing the same civs over and over. And this mod by Evolution, it was the breath of fresh air that I needed. And maybe it could be the same thing for you as well. But I want to give an honest look at this mod. So instead of the post game, guys, follow me to the mod breakdown. All right, guys, here we are in the mod breakdown. And I want to start by saying thank you to Evolution to sending me those games. Once again, I really appreciated it. And if you got more games, send them my way. Now, I'm going to give 3 pros and 1 con to this mod. But despite whatever I say, go and check this mod out yourself. It's the easiest thing in the world. It takes a couple of clicks, and you have access to so many new fully playable civs. And that's the first pro, is the variety. This gives you so much more to play with, not only in skirmish mode, but with friends as well, as long as they have the mod. So you can really test out a lot of different things. And you know what? It's not always about finding the strongest meta build or getting elo. Sometimes it's just about messing around with some buddies and having a good time, and this is what that mod is for. Second, it's going to give you actually a lot of knowledge on the Revolt meta, because yes, you're not going to be playing against fully playable Revolt civs in standard AOE3 DE, but knowing what units they can make, knowing what their compositions are, it's going to help you when you go into the ladder and you face up against revolts that you might not be familiar with. Well, playing this mod will make you familiar with them. And then number 3 is just the enjoyment factor. You can't help but smile when you're playing with Hungarian Grenadiers and Magyar Hussars or Barbary Corsairs, or all of these fun units that just don't get used very often. Now, the one con I will say is that the fully playable part of the mod, I don't know if we're quite there yet, because obviously to make full decks, you're gonna have to borrow from a lot of other civs. A lot of the skins are just kind of slightly tweaked skins that already exist. There's not that civ uniqueness there, but I don't blame that on Evolution. I blame that more on the limitations of modders right now, because WE is terrible. But still, despite all that, guys, go give this mod a try. I hope you enjoyed my mini review. I hope you enjoyed the casted game. But until next week, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. Have a great life. See you later.